Hello, hello, everybody. We are with Rick. Hey, Rick, why don't you say hello to everybody at home?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Rich. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining. We are now also live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube and we are live on Facebook, everybody. So, this is an exciting time. For the first time, Rich TV Live is live on two streams. We are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube with a very special guest. Now, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your company and your symbol, and then we'll get into a little bit deeper about your company because this is a surprise. I didn't tell anybody that you were coming today. I didn't tell anyone. Nobody was prepared. I just said we were live. This is a surprise for the audience and the people that are watching at home all over the world. I'm very excited to have you today. So let's share the news. Who are you? What's the company? Give them the symbol. I know everybody in the trading room is just dying to know your symbol to do their due diligence. So let's have it.
All right. Rich, thanks for having me. My name's Rick Deitch. I'm the CEO of Nutra Pharma Corporation. The symbol is NPHC. Nathan, Peter, Harry, Charlie. NPHC, we trade on the OTCQB. We're a fully reporting stock on the OTCQB. And we're a biotech company. A company because we actually have products for sale, which isn't normal in this sort of field. Most biotech companies have a dream of a future drug, and we certainly have that. We have 21 patents, and we have drugs in the pipeline for multiple sclerosis, HIV, rheumatoid arthritis, herpes, adrenal neuropathy. But we also have over-the-counter products that we're selling right now. We have Nyloxin for pain. We have Nyloxin and Nyloxin Extra Strength for human pain, and we have Pet Pain Away for dogs and cats. So we have really we've mitigated the risk to investors because we're already selling products as we're trying to get the blockbuster drugs through the approval process.
That's great. Now, pharmaceuticals have been super hot lately. What do you think about President Trump coming into power? Do you think that he's going to actually help? Because I heard he really wants to speed up FDA approval. Does that affect your company? Is that something that you think will enhance your company and your business having President Trump in power right now?
It's an interesting question because it's yes and no. Um, our main drug that's right now in the approval process for the FDA is RPI 78M for multiple sclerosis. And last year we were granted orphan designation. Orphan designation already gives us fast track, rolling review, waiver of fees. So we have all the dispensation we can get from the FDA already. The one thing I will say is that the pharmaceutical industry has been really under attack about drug prices. In fact, the latest MS drug that was just approved is estimated to be $60,000 per year for a patient, which I think is ludicrous. It's ridiculous. You have MS patients, a lot of which are poor to begin with. They have a horrible disease, and now they have to pay $60,000 a year for a drug. We have an MS drug that actually treats the symptoms of the disease, actually modifies the disease, and our drug is incredibly cheap to make. I don't know what it's going to come out at, but I'd be surprised if it costs more than $7,000 or $8,000 per patient year, and we'd still make a huge amount of money on it.
Wow, that's incredible. So you're talking about people saving like a huge amount of money, and I know this is a major problem, especially in America, where they don't have the healthcare like we have in Canada. Where I mean, I've heard horror stories where people go bankrupt just because of these illnesses, and it's sad, and I think that that's incredible that you have that potential. You
Yeah,
know,
and understand MS also. All the drugs for multiple sclerosis are measured by their ability to slow the forward progression of the disease. In other words, the drugs will make you progress more slowly than if you didn't take the drugs. And all the drugs are immunosuppressive. They shut off your immune system, so you get sick from everything else. So the side effects are horrible, and you still are not treating the disease. You're just slowing it down. We've actually given our drug to over 300 patients in open label trials. And what we found is when people use the drug, the forward disease stops, the forward prevention production of disease stops, and symptoms improve over time. In fact, we've seen patients get out of wheelchairs on the drug more than 6 or 8 months. And so we got orphan designation now for pediatric MS. We're ready to roll into clinical studies for pediatric MS over the next 6 to 9 months. So it's a great time for the company. We have almost no side effects compared to the other drugs.
Wow.
And you look, like I said, the last drug that was just approved is going to be $60,000 a year. And their only claim is that they slow the fall production of the disease, the fall progression of the disease.
So you're saying that their drug is going to be 60,000 a year, and your drug will be 7 to 8,000 a year.
Well, I'm saying I don't know because we're going to license it to a big partner. That's what biotechs do. Phase 2 studies are the pivotal study. Phase 2 studies are what they call preliminary efficacy. 19 out of 20 drugs in the U.S. failed phase 2 studies. Does your drug work in the indication that you've chosen? And so we need to get through the phase 2 study, which we're working on right now. The phase 2 will prove that the drug actually works. After phase 2, small biotechs like us license out to a larger partner. The biggest players in MS now are Biogen, Teva, Celgene just bought Receptos for $7.2 billion. So chances are we'll be licensing to one of those companies. And of course, they'll set the price. But I can tell you our drug is incredibly cheap to make. It's shelf stable, lasts forever, is incredibly user friendly. So I can't imagine it's going to be an expensive drug when it comes to market.
Well, that's what we like to hear when we find companies that have a good product, that are undervalued, underappreciated, and underexposed. That is what the community in Rich TV Live is looking for. We're looking for, our community, just so you know, it's single moms, single dads, people with families that are working hard, just trying to get that second income, trying to find a way to get out of the rat race. They're looking for that home run. Why is your company that home run? Tell the people at home.
It's great. You can look at the history. Most biotech companies start and they raise $100 million, $200 million, and they fly through cash. Since inception with Nutra Pharma, you'll see that we have losses of about $50 million, and we've been around since 2000, so it's 17 years. And we've lost about $50 million, and the losses almost primarily are stock grants, stock issuances. We've only spent less than $15 million since inception. And we have 21 patents, 3 key patents. We have all the preclinical and clinical work ready to move into a phase 2 with MS, a phase 2 with AMN, adrenal mononephropathy. And like I said before, we have products on the market. We have Nyloxin for chronic pain, which we're ready to roll into stores. We have Pet Pain Away that's already started infomercials. So we have product that's out there. I would argue that we've done more for less than any biotech in the history of the country, in the history of the world. Now, add to that, the stock price. Wow. And I want to take this head on. So in mid 2015, our stock was about 27 cents a share, and we're doing okay. But we were just getting approval in India, and our feeling was within 12 months we were going to get large orders for Nyloxin in India and China. And so we took a lot of debt. We took some convertible debt with the feeling that those orders were imminent. And what happened is those orders didn't come through. We had middlemen that didn't finish the job. We had middlemen that got in the way of getting that distribution. And what happened, of course, is that convertible debt converted. And that's what we're in the middle of now. So our stock is under a penny a share. It's incredibly undervalued. We have more in inventory right now than our market cap, which makes no sense whatsoever. So when you add the fact that we have sales, we have growing sales.
Sorry, say that again. Let's touch on that. You have more in inventory than your market cap. Explain to the people at home what that means.
Okay, so our market value right now is somewhere around 2 million, maybe 2.5 million, depending on the daily trading of the stock. We have a warehouse full of Nyloxin and Pet Pain Away. At retail value, it's close to $2 million in inventory. So you start looking at that, the market value makes no sense whatsoever as to the health of the company.
Okay, well that's good. So it's definitely undervalued. Now, how is the company's revenue? It's obviously important to see what the company's revenue stream is. How's the company's balance sheet right now? How's the company's balance sheet going to start to grow? Because one of the key things that we look for here at Rich TV Live are companies that have very healthy balance sheets. What are you guys doing to ensure that you're building shareholder equity and creating shareholder value by building the balance sheet of the company?
It's a good and it's a bad question. Okay, so a lot of biotechs out there have no revenues. Most
That's
biotechs
right.
don't have revenues for 15 or 20 years. They have a promise or the hope of some future blockbuster drug. In fact, we had a higher market value before we had revenues. Revenues actually hurt our value because people started pinning the value of the stock to the revenues of the company. So we only had about $300,000, a little less than $300,000 in net sales in 2016. That was with Nyloxin and Pet Pain Away. But in that time, we've signed an agreement with an infomercial company for the launch of Pet Pain Away. And the website's up right now. Everyone, please go to petpainaway.com and see the infomercial. It's awesome. It's fabulous. And we really believe that we're going to see some great sales from Pet Pain Away alone. In fact, that company has the ability to earn exclusivity. And if they do nothing else but the minimum to earn exclusivity, that makes the company cash flow positive. That makes us cash flow positive. And that ignores Nyloxin extra strength, and we have military strength Nyloxin. We're trying to get into the VA and the active duty military. So there's a lot of things that are going to help grow revenue over the next 12 months. We've also started the registration process in Mexico, Spain, and Israel. And we've hired some more salespeople to start opening up the rest of the world. We're already approved in India, and I believe India could be our biggest market as we get distributors over there as well.
India. Wow. That's a massive market. Whew. You're talking about what? The second largest market in the world behind China, I would assume? 1 billion people?
Yeah, so let me talk about it. So I have the products. Here's Nyloxin, and anyone can go to nyloxin.com and see more about the product, Nyloxin. Nyloxin is a pain drug that is unbelievable and different than anything else ever made. Our raw material is cobra venom. We use Asian cobra venom, which is a neurotoxin. And diluted 10,000-fold, it blocks pain and inflammation without side effects. In our last clinical study, our last animal model, we outperformed morphine. We lasted 4 to 6 hours longer than morphine. And because the dose was so small, it's an infinitesimal dose compared to morphine, it's 600 times more potent than morphine on a molecular basis. So we believe we're going to get everybody off of opiate-based drugs with this product. It's all natural, non-narcotic, non-addictive, and actually does the trick, actually relieves pain and inflammation. So we have the Nyloxin product, which is really ready to roll, and it's out there now, and then Pet Pain Away. And whereas there's lots of choices for pain drugs with humans, there's really nothing for dogs and cats. Dogs right now, they'll give them Demerol or Tramadol, which just knocks them out, or NSAIDs, which cause diarrhea, vomiting, things like that. Pet Pain Away is a chicken-flavored gel. You just throw it in their food or give them a little bit on a spoon or on your finger, and within 24 hours, you have these old dogs running around like puppies and these old cats running around like kittens. The difference is absolutely phenomenal. So when we talk about different markets, obviously this is a great idea for the U.S. market. But if you look at India, India has 300 million middle class. That's the entire population of the United States is their middle class that can afford these drugs. When I said cobra venom to you, you backed up a little bit. Well, cobra venom in the U.S. is going to be a question. People are going to say, I'm going to spray cobra venom in my mouth. I'm going to rub it on my skin. It's an educational process to say that cobra venom is actually going to be good for you. When I go to India and I say our product comes from cobra venom, they say that makes sense. They have no problem whatsoever with cobra venom as a raw material for a drug. And then lastly,
interesting,
and this is really important, India has the lowest prescription rates for opiate drugs in the entire world.
Wow.
They don't like opiate drugs. And this is a throwback to British imperialism. When the British ran India, they had opium dens all over the place. They made money on that. When India gained independence, one of the first things they did is outlaw opium and close all the opium dens. And by extension, they hate opiate-based drugs. Morphine, Vicodin, Percocet, Percodan, fentanyl. They don't like any of those drugs, and so they don't give them to patients in India. Our biggest competitor in India is a topical aspirin product. So I think we could own the market in India overnight when we get the right distributor.
Well, that's an incredible market to go after right there. To own that market, that would make this company extremely undervalued, very, very underappreciated, and horribly underexposed. which is why we have you here on Rich TV Live, is to give you that additional exposure. Why would someone want to be a part of your company? What makes your company's culture unique? Why is your company's culture unique?
Well, I'm a biochemist. I'm running the company, and everyone in the company is very entrepreneurial. Everyone in the company knows the big picture of what we can do. We're going to bring drugs to the marketplace that are different than anything else that's out there. It's wildly different than anything else that's out there. We pride ourselves in having products that have little to no side effect profile, which is unheard of now in the pharmaceutical markets. I mean, look at what's available now, even in the MS space. A lot of these are immunosuppressive drugs. So what do? They shut down the immune system. Have you ever heard an ad for Humira or Enbrel? They'll say, "Oh yeah, I took it for my rheumatoid arthritis, and I felt better. My golf game improved." And then you hear the voiceover. Have your doctor check you for infection before using Humira. Have your doctor check you for TB. It's more likely to get an infection or TB while using Humira. Death and cancer has happened.
Like,
You know,
and
so,
yeah, like why do I want that drug? Like, are you kidding me?
and
See,
the whole time they're showing lifestyle shots of playing golf and playing with the kids, and it's horrible. So we pride ourselves in the fact that we use very specific drugs that don't have these side effects. And so we're going to prove that in the clinical research. Certainly, the over-the-counter products have no side effects whatsoever. Even at incredibly high doses, the only risk for naloxone is the risk of dehydration, and that's slight dehydration. So we tell people, if you're using massive doses, just drink some water.
well, that's good. Now, what is
Yeah.
okay? So for the people that are out there that are looking at your company, there's going to be investors, there's going to be funders, there's going to be financiers, there's going to be potential mergers and acquisitions, potential opportunities for you. We here at Rich TV Live, we're working with about 100 private and public companies already ourselves. So we have a lot of deals that we're putting together all the time too. So we believe that collectively with the skill set that you guys have and some of the things that you guys are doing and some of the different companies and different contacts that we have, that maybe we could do something together and we could work together and we can really build a brand together, and we would love to be able to have you on the show in the future. So if you're speaking to all the people at home and they're maybe interested in investing in your company, how could they get in contact with you?
Well, obviously, you can go to NutraPharma.com, the main website. Lots of great stuff there. We were just on NBC News last month. They did a
Wow.
piece on us, which went national,
Great.
where they actually went to our snake farm and interviewed the person that handles our cobras. So
Wow.
there's a bunch of cobras in there, but really talked about the drugs and what we're working on. So that's great. We do have an investor relations hotline. It's 877-895-5647, 877-895-5647. That number is on every one of our press releases. And then simply investor.relations@nutrapharma.com, investor.relations@nutrapharma.com. And we'll answer you within 24 hours. We have a lot of great things happening. And like I said, the only problem we've had now is convertible debt. And as these converters convert and sell, the stock price has been depressed. That's almost over. We see a light at the end of the tunnel with these conversions. Once that's over, I think we're really going to see a great appreciation of the stock price in the market.
Okay, so let's get into the convertible debt, because I've been in the industry for a long time and I know that these toxic funders kill companies. So how much convertible debt is left? Like, what do we have to eat through to see the blue sky again? Like, how much convertible debt is there?
Well, currently converting, I think we're only down to about $45,000. It's very little.
Okay.
The next round of converters isn't until June. And with everything we have in place right now, it's our expectation to pay off that convertible debt before they can convert. So I really believe once we get through this little time now, and people have seen the great increase in volume as these converters convert and sell, I think once we get through this little bit right now, which really could just be the next couple of weeks or even maybe 30 days, we see a lot of light at the end of the tunnel.
What about if like, as far as money is concerned, is there a certain amount of money you guys are looking for right now? Like, are you guys looking for a certain amount of money for funding? If there's a funder watching, an institutional funder, a bank, someone that really likes your company, a bigger company that wants to acquire you guys, what kind of like money do you need to grow your operations? Is there a certain specific goal or target you're looking for? Oh, I think we may have lost Rik. Oh, technical difficulties, people. We lost him on Skype. Hold on. We'll get him back. Don't you worry. Don't you guys worry. We'll get him back. CEO Rik from Nphc. Rik. I'm trying to call you, Rik. We are having some technical difficulties, people. Don't you worry. We'll get him back on the line. You know how it is with technology. Things don't always go the way you want. And then what you do is you have to improvise. And you know what? Sometimes improvisation is the best part of the show. So don't you worry. While we fix our technical difficulties, what we'll do, let's pull up the symbols that are hot today. Oh, here we go. Oh, real quick, 262% up, people. 262% NADL. We're back. We're back with Rik and Rich. Don't you worry. We're back. Don't worry, Facebook. We're back. YouTube, we are back. We love you, YouTube, the greatest streaming platform on the planet. And we love you, Facebook, too. And we're talking about Nphc. And we were just talking about money you needed, or a goal or a target for funding to help you get where you want to go. Why don't you talk about that? And if there is a certain amount of money you need, even if it's a large amount, what do you need it for? Be specific so the people at home get a chance to know exactly what opportunities you're looking to, move into and you're looking to grow into in the future.
Absolutely. So we, like I said, I was saying before we got cut off, is that we've kept the company alive. We've actually been growing revenues, and we expect that revenues will at least make us cash flow positive in the next few months. But to get to the next level, we need a lot more money, both for the OTC products and for the ethical drugs. If you look at us as two separate companies. Now, the problem is the stock price. We can't do an equity raise at these levels. It's insane. We give away the whole company just to do an equity raise. So we've been proposing everything from long-term notes with banking partners to a joint venture. And in fact, right now we're shopping two potential joint ventures. One is for the OTC drugs, naloxone and pet pain away. Where we'd be looking to raise as much as $10 million for some percentage of the OTC company. I even envision this as, if you ever watch Shark Tank, a Kevin Harrington type, not Kevin Harrington, Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary, yes.
Wonderful, the Kevin O'Leary type of deal, where we could even give the investor 25, 50 cents per unit sold until they're paid back, and still own a piece of the OTC sales, a piece of the OTC market from the company. And I think that's an incredibly potentially lucrative offer. Even with as much as $2 to $5 million, we could get naloxone at every store in the U.S. and Canada. That's CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Publix. We could roll it out with cut-in fees and shelving fees. And I think naloxone could become a household, what I call medicine chest product within 12 to 18 months.
Wow.
So that's something we're looking at as a joint venture.
Wow.
On the ethical drug side, we're ready to move into clinical studies, phase 2 studies on pediatric MS, and we're ready to do that quickly. We just brought in a new chief scientific officer, Dr. Dale Vanderputten, who was formerly with the NIH, and he really knows his stuff. We're ready to move forward with phase 2 trials, but we're going to need as much as $10 million to do everything we have to do, tee up to phase 2, get through the phase 2, eventually into licensure of the drug. And again, we're looking at doing that in some form of JV, where if someone put in $5 to $10 million, they would own a piece of the pediatric MS drug, which is potentially, just in the pediatric MS category, a potentially $500 million annual drug. When you look at the broader MS market, MS is considered to be a $20 billion category. So if we could actually prove what I've said about our MS drug, we would own that market.
Well, that's an incredible market to own and to even be a part of. I think what you guys are doing is revolutionary. I think it's exciting. We would love to be a part of it here on Rich TV Live and be able to tell your story as it happens and continue to tell your story and continue to show the progress, because not only do you guys have huge potential as a company, but I think you have huge potential just on the human element as far as being able to help people and make a difference in this world, which I think is more important sometimes than making money. But it's funny how sometimes the two and two can collide and create a very special and exciting investment opportunity, which is what myself and our community is looking for, and one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on the show today. And we really appreciate your time and for you to come on the show and talk about your company. Is there any news or anything coming that's exciting that you can let us know? We're always looking for some exciting new tips or anything else you can kind of let us know. Like a little birdie said something big is going to happen, and maybe some of our investors get some great tips and some advice. So anything else you want to leave us with before we say goodbye?
Yeah, Rich, it's been great. Obviously, I know the rules of limited disclosure, so I'm not going to say anything that's not public information, but we have talked about this. We were just on NBC last month. That clip went national, so we were picked up by all the NBC affiliates. We are looking for doing more with NBC, and knock on wood, I'd love to get the call from the Today Show and tell Matt Lauer about our Cobra Venom drugs. I mean, this is exciting news stuff. This is sexy.
Oh, yeah, of course. The Today Show? I mean, It's nothing like Rich TV Live, but it's not bad.
And then we were just interviewed by Premier Impacto, which is a Spanish language television show. They did a big feature on us. It's going to be more than 20 minutes long, where, again, they came to the snake farm. They looked at the cobras. They came to our laboratory. They went in depth about our products. That's going to air shortly, and that's a show that's shown all over Spanish language. It's South America, Central America, Mexico, all over the U.S. in Spanish language television. That's coming out shortly as well.
Wow.
So we really expect a big boom there. Keep watching. Keep watching the website. If you're not on our contact list, sign up for our press releases, our news releases. We have a lot of great things happening. We're ready in the next few months to talk about the phase 2 study and rolling into that. That's going to be exciting. So there is a lot of great stuff happening. The infomercial for Pet Pain Away is ready. It's on the Pet Pain Away website. That's going to roll out nationally over the next 30, 60 days. So you're going to see a lot of stuff on Pet Pain Away.
Oh my goodness! Do you got a clip?
If you're one of the 50 million people that suffer with chronic joint pain, backaches, neck pain, or arthritis, then you need Nyloxin. Nyloxin is derived from an extract of cobra venom, which goes directly into the bloodstream to reduce inflammation and blocks the pain. Replace prescription pain relievers with safe, non-habit-forming Nyloxin.
Before, I had to take powerful narcotics just to be able to play. But now, thanks to Nyloxin, my pain is gone, and so too are the narcotics.
My back pain used to keep me up all night. Now that I started taking Nyloxin, my pain is gone, and I finally can get some restful sleep.
My arthritis pain was getting the best of me, but I fought back the pain with Nyloxin. If it worked for me, I know it'll work for you.
Receive your 4 to 6 week supply of Nyloxin oral spray for only $24.